So in this video, we're going to be looking at quadratic equations by completing the square method. And we're going to be considering this question to explain this concept. So we have 6x squared plus 8x minus 30 to be equal to 0. And we have to find the values of x using completing the square method. Alright, the very first thing we'll do is transfer the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. So if we do that, we are going to have, okay, this simply implies we are going to have 6x squared plus 8x to now be equal to 30. We have negative 30, of course, is a constant term, so we transfer it to the right hand side of the equation, so it becomes positive 30. That's our first task. The next thing we'll do is divide all through by the coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of x squared is simply 6, which is the number attached to x squared. So divide all through by 6. And if you do that, you're going to have 6x squared all over 6 plus 8x all over 6 equal to 30 all over 6. So this simply implies we're going to have 6x squared divided by 6. I'm left with x squared. Now I have 8 divided by 6. That will simply give us 4 over 3. So I have plus 4 all over 3x. And this is equal to 30 divided by 6. This simply gives us 5. Now let's call this equation, we can call it maybe equation star 1. Let's call this equation star 1. So what we'll do at this point, after ensuring that x squared is now alone, what we'll do is simply add half of square the coefficient of x to both sides. Add half of squared the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation. Coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x is actually 4 over 3. So we're adding half of squared the coefficient of x. So first we'll find half of x. So first we'll find half of 4 all over 3. So this is going to be equal to 1 all over 2, which is half, multiply 4 all over 3. So this is going to be what? 4 all over 2 times 3 is 6. And we can simply call this 2 all over 3. So this is half the coefficient of x. Next, we'll find the square of this half. So square becomes, we square the half, square of half is now going to of half of 2 all over 3. This is now going to be equal to, so you have 2 all over 3 all squared. Now, do not expand. Just keep it as this, 2 over 3 all squared. Do not expand. Now, plug this into the equation. Add half of square the coefficient of x. So what we did first was to find the half. After obtaining the half, we found the square. Now, we're going to be adding this to both sides of that equation. So that means the equation is now going to be, being equation star now, is now going to be equal to, so we have x squared plus, you have 4 over 3x, 4 over 3x. Now you add plus 2 all over 3 all squared. All squared, and this is equal to, on the other side of the equation we have 5, so it becomes 5 plus 2 all over 3 all squared, and you have this. So you can now square the value of 2 over 3 on the right hand side. You can find that square, but on the left hand side, do not expand. Now this is what you do at this point. I'm going to show you a trick to solving this from this, because lots of students actually get confused when it gets to this point on completing the square method. Now this is what you do. So at this point, I have x squared here, I have 2 all over 3 all squared here. What you do simply is pick one of the x, open a bracket, pick one of the x, plus pick one of the 2 all over 3, close this bracket and square this. If you expand this equation, you're going to be having everything here, x squared plus 4 over 3x plus 2 over 3 squared. You're going to be having these values. Now let's try this and see if it's going to work. Now this is going to simply be equal to, so let's expand into bracket. This is x plus 2 all over 3 multiplying x plus 2 all over 3. So this is going to be equal to x times x gives us x squared. We have x squared plus x times 2 over 3 gives us 2 over 3x. So we have 2 all over 3x plus, again you have 2 over 3 times x. That gives us 2 over 3x. Then you have 2 over 3 times 2 over 3. That gives us plus, you can simply call that 2 all over 3 all squared since they have the same value multiplying. So you see now that this is equal to x squared plus the LCM between 2 over 3x plus 2 over 3x is simply what? 3. You add their numerators, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4x plus 2 all over 3 all squared. So you see that upon expanding x plus 2 over 3 squared, I still have what? This entire equation. So when you get to this point, all you need to do is pick one of the x plus pick one of the 2 over 3, then enclose them in a parenthesis, raise it to the power of 2. If you expand this, you have everything on this equation. So which means the whole of this equation can be written simply as what? X plus 2 over 3 to the power of 2. Alright, so let's take off this now. Okay, so now we know that x plus 2 over 3 all squared represents the entire left hand side of the equation. So this simply becomes 5. So we can now expand the right hand side. 2 squared is 4. All over 3 squared is 9. You have this. So this simply implies that x plus 2 all over 3 all squared is going to be equal to 5. The LCM here is 9. So 9 goes into 1 is 9. So this 5 can be written as simply 5 all over 1, right? So 9 divided by 1 is 9. 9 times 5 simply gives us 45. So we have 45 plus 9 divided by 9 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. You have this. So x plus 2 all over 3 all squared is now going to be equal to 45 plus 4, that's 49 all over 9. So at this point, you can now take the square root of both sides to eliminate that square on the left hand side. So this simply implies x plus 2 all over 3 is now going to be equal to, since you're taking a square root, don't forget to include your plus or minus sign. So plus or minus square root of 49 all over 9. So this is going to now be equal to, this simply implies I can now send plus 2 over 3 to the other side of the equation. So I'll have the value of x. X is going to be equal to, so if plus 2 over 3 crosses that equal to sign, it becomes negative 2 all over 3 plus or minus the square root of 49 all over 9. Now we can also rewrite that equation to be x equals negative 2 over 3 plus or minus of 45 all over square root of 9. Okay, so this simply implies that x is equal to, you have negative 2 over 3 plus minus, so we find the square root of 45. Okay, so 45, let's simply express this in short form. 45 can be written simply as, this is 9 times 5, okay, all over the square root of 9 is 3, so you have this to be all over 3. So this is equal to negative 2 over 3 plus minus. So this can be written, the numerator here can be written as square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 5 all over 3. Yeah. So x is going to be equal to negative 2 over 3 plus minus square root of 9 there is 3, so I have 3 root 5 all over 3. Of course, 3 cancels 3, so this simply implies that x is equal to negative 2 over 3 plus, I simply have root 5. Okay, plus minus root 5, please. Plus minus root 5. So this means that since I have plus minus, it means I have two values for x. So the first lies on the positive side and the next lies on the negative side. So this simply implies that either x is equal to negative 2 over 3. So let's pick the first sign, plus root 5, or x is equal to, you have negative 2 all over 3 minus root 5. So you can go ahead to evaluate this, or you can also leave your answer as this. So you can simply find the square root of 2. So you can simply find the square root of 5, put it in decimal place, evaluate 2 over 3, then of course add and subtract and have the two values of x and y. So guys, that's it on how to evaluate or solve quadratic equation from completing the square method. I will see you in the next video with more tedious examples. Thanks. Square root of 49, that is 7, all over square root of 9, that is 3. So this simply implies that now the sign plus or minus means that x has two values. One lies on the positive, one lies on the negative. So let's start with the first. So this simply implies that x is either negative 2 over 3, let's start with the positive, plus 7 all over 3, or x is equal to negative 2 all over 3. Now you move to the negative, minus 7 all over 3. So for both cases, LCM remains 3. So this means that x is equal to, LCM here is simply 3. 3 goes into 3 is 1. 1 times negative 2 gives us negative 2. Plus 3 goes into 3 is 1. 1 times 7 gives us 7. Or similarly, x is equal to LCM here is also 3. 3 goes into 3 is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Minus 3 goes into 3 is 1. 1 times 7 here is also 7. Okay, so this simply implies that x is equal to, for the first case, negative 2 plus 7, that gives us 5 all over 3, or x is equal to negative 2 negative 7, that is minus 9 all over 3. Okay, so finally this simply implies that either x is equal to 5 all over 3, or x is equal to negative 9 divided by 3 gives us negative 3. So these are the two values of x for that given equation. Alright guys, so that's how to employ the completing the square method approach to solving quadratic equation. So I will see you in the next video with more tedious examples and how you can explore the completing the square method of quadratic equation. I'm sure you want to be a part of that video, so do well right now to tap the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on that video when it drops. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.